next topic at hand, we have the pound for pound list. Now it has been readjusted. Now, according to the report that I read, that's who they got. And let me get your thoughts on this. They got Lomachenko number 1, Terence Crawford number 2, Errol Spence number 3. What's your thoughts? Who is your... My question is, do you agree with this list? This is a 3-part question. Do you agree with this list? If so, why so? If not, why not? And second part of this question, who is your top 5? If you don't agree
top
with
5?
this, yeah, your top 5 pound for pound, and why?
All right. What the first one? I have no problem with that. I don't want to get into.
No, you gotta agree with it, or you don't agree.
Well, I agree with it.
Okay.
I mean,
so you agree Lomachenko pound for pound number 1?
Yeah, I think that. I think with Lomachenko, he's probably beat. I think almost everybody he faced early on was either a champion or a former champion. I think that part of being pound for pound, because it's a mythical title, and a lot of times you can't settle those differences in the ring, so you just have to theorize why one fighter is kind of better than the other.
Sometimes you can. If the fighters are around each other division, but who's your top?
Well, yeah, but the reason that they did a pound for pound was because of Sugar Ray Robinson. Like, Sugar Ray Robinson could never fight any of those heavyweights or anything in the thing, but they were saying that pound for pound, this is the best fighter in there. Like, if he fought a heavyweight, of course he wouldn't necessarily be able to win. Yeah.
But I'm talking about if they around their division, like a division or 2 up. That's all. I'm not saying like a heavyweight or none of that.
Yeah,
but your top 5?
So my top 5 would be Lomachenko, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Canelo Alvarez, and finishing out is Inui, yeah, from Japan. Inui's my number 5.
Well, I definitely disagree with you on that one. I believe Lomachenko don't deserve to be in the pound for pound number 1 spot. I mean, in order for him to climb up that ladder, Terence Crawford has to get dethroned. Obviously, we all know Floyd Mayweather was the pound for pound number 1 for the longest. Andre Ward was right there behind him after Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez. You know, at that, you know, because Manny Pacquiao was after Floyd, like, at all time, but I'm talking about the time where Floyd kind of took care of Manny Pacquiao, or when Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez. Andre Ward was always there with Floyd, but he could never get to the pound for pound spot. The reason why, he had Floyd Mayweather problems. Floyd Mayweather never got dethroned. Lomachenko has the same problem. I know some people might say, oh, well, Lomachenko did this and that. Listen, Lomachenko lost to Salido. Now, I know a lot of people say that's his second professional fight. Fine. You know, rematch the guy and beat him. The rematch was offered to Lomachenko. Lomachenko stated, I don't care about that fight at this point of my career. Why? I mean, the guy is a guy who beat you, who is a champion. So you're going to tell me you don't care about that fight? Keep in mind, how many losses does Lomachenko has in the amateurs?
I don't know.
1. He has 400 fights and 1 loss.
1.
1. Now you don't believe it.
I might guess he can maybe have more than.
Yeah, but let's say it's true though, right?
Yeah.
You know that one guy that beat him, Lomachenko made sure he rematched that guy multiple times, and Lomachenko beat him because he was so offended that guy was able to beat him, right? He wanted to prove that he was better than him, that he just had the best of him that night. My point is, nobody really cares about an amateur loss, but people care about a pro loss. And that was your second professional fight against a world champion that took you to the Mexican school of boxing. A whole new school. You know, he didn't even know about that university. He didn't know that university existed. Salido took him to that school, and Lomachenko did not graduate. So if I was him, I would have went back to that school and wanted to graduate from that school. He didn't want to do that. So my point is, you're going to want to avenge your amateur losses, but not your professional losses?
But he doesn't have to, though.
Yes, he do.
Well, why? You just said they just put him at number 1 pound for pound.
Okay, that's because he's on the hope list. That's because he got the complexion for the protection.
Well,
that don't mean, man, listen, Teddy Atlas told Andre Ward to his face And Terence Crawford, to his face, after the after Terence Crawford became undisputed at 140, literally after his fight, when Lomachenko only had 9 fights, literally. I don't even think he fought a ring in the at the time, but even if he did, don't matter. He told Andre Ward, who's coming off knocking out Kovalev in the second round. Kovalev was a pound-for-pound fighter at the time, as you stated earlier. Yeah. And Andre Ward was the true pound-for-pound after Floyd retired. And you had Terence Crawford right behind him, who became undisputed. He told them to their face, a fighter with 9 fights and 1 loss is pound-for-pound number 1. He told them, y'all not competing with yourselves. Y'all competing with Lomachenko, the guy with only 9 fights and 1 loss. So you telling me Andre Ward, a fighter who got a gold medalist, competed in the pros and the amateurs, haven't lost a fight since 14, right? With a broken shoulder, supposedly, right? He went to the pros and never lost and stayed dominating and beat Kovalev, beat pound-for-pound fighters. He proved himself over decades in the sport of boxing. You telling me that guy don't deserve to be pound-for-pound number 1, but a fighter that did it for only 1 year or 2 years at the time deserved to be pound-for-pound number 1 when he haven't showed anything? Matter of fact, he already lost.
We talking about Andre Ward?
No, I'm just pointing out why they put Lomachenko pound-for-pound number 1. It's because they want a fighter from the hopeless to be on the pound-for-pound number one. Let's look at it from all the fighters from the greatest to now. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Leonard. You got Floyd Mayweather. Most of the fighters that was pound-for-pound number 1 were from the same group. They want a different group. They want a Lomachenko, a guy from the hopeless. So all I'm saying is we can't go by that. We got to go by straight facts. Whatever Lomachenko is trying to accomplish today, Terence Crawford already accomplished. Lomachenko, Lomachenko want to be undisputed at 135. Terence Crawford already did that 140. You could say that was a weak division. Well, 135 is a weak division when Lomachenko is doing it now because he just fought for a vacant belt against a guy who's ranked number 5 in the division, struggling in that fight, losing 5 rounds to 6 rounds in that fight. Meanwhile, he fought the fight before that. Linares dropped him. The guy that Tank knocked out.
Well, that was 2 fights before that.
What's his name? The guy that Tank knocked out. I forgot.
Pedraza
gave him a hard time. He fought for a title against people that he wasn't supposed to. Like, when does it?
But he also he cleaned Rocky Martinez clock.
Rocky Martinez.
Yeah, remember he fought Rocky Martinez.
Man, you talking about Mikey Garcia leftover? That's what I'm saying. He fought fighters that been knocked out before. He fought Mikey Garcia leftovers.
He made Walters quit. And who at the time was undefeated.
Who was inactive? Coming off a draw?
He was still an undefeated champion.
Coming off a draw.
And Rigondeaux necessarily throw it out there.
Come on now. You ain't going to do that.
What I'm saying, okay, so what do you think is, and then he like, to me, I thought he took Gary Russell to school.
Well, he got dropped in that fight, and it was a split decision.
I don't believe.
He didn't win that fight.
It wasn't counted as a drop. So it's not on his record. It's not on his record.
Yeah, but he still got dropped. I mean, obviously we could see that he got dropped in that fight. But regardless of any of that,
did Zab Judah drop Mayweather?
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah,
but to Floyd Mayweather credit, Zab did step like when he pivoted. Floyd got tripped by his foot. He did land a punch, but he tripped by his foot. So the referee did look at their feet.
But I'm saying it doesn't go in his record.
Yeah, that's the point. But my point is this, right? Terence Crawford fought a gold medalist. I'm not even talking about Gamboa. I'm talking about Flex Diaz. We saw what he did to Flex Diaz. He played with him. He toyed with him. He knocked him out. We saw Lomachenko go against a gold medalist himself last fight. The guy was ranked number 5 in the division, Luke Campbell. And what happened in that fight? Lomachenko struggled badly. I mean, Lomachenko stated it was his toughest fight. You don't got to go based on what I'm seeing. Let's go based on what Lomachenko is saying. He's saying that was his toughest fight to date, even though that should be the Salido fight. But he claims it's the Luke Campbell fight. So we got one fighter dominating a gold medalist. We got another fighter struggling against another gold medalist, right? Now, let's talk about Terence Crawford when he moved up in weight and fought Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn just beat Manny Pacquiao.
Jeff Horn.
Did he beat Manny Pacquiao? No, right? I don't think he beat Manny Pacquiao, but it was a close fight. He was giving Manny Pacquiao the work in the inside.
Jeff Horn might not even be a top 15 welterweight.
He was a champion. He beat Manny Pacquiao. And look, I don't think he beat Manny Pacquiao. I had Manny Pacquiao winning that fight, but he did perform well. He made it a dirty fight. Manny was not comfortable in the inside. He was not anticipating what's going on. What Terence Crawford do to Jeff Horn? He annihilated him. I mean, he destroyed him. What happened when Lomachenko moved up in weight and fought a real champion? He got dropped his first fight moving up. So what I'm saying,
he stopped him though.
He stopped him, but he struggled in the process. My point is, Terence Crawford is more dominant, not just more dominant, but more dominant over the years. He proved himself over the years more than Lomachenko have. Also, he already accomplished something that Lomachenko is trying to accomplish today. Also, he's not turning down smoke. Terence Crawford is free smoke. It's smoke season.
Who has he fought at welterweight?
Terence Crawford, well, he's calling out Errol Spence. He's calling out all these guys. It's not his fault that these guys ain't willing to step in the ring with him. I'm not particularly talking about Errol Spence. I believe Errol Spence will fight him, but I'm talking about the Danny Garcias, the Keith Thurmans. But my point is, we know for a fact that Lomachenko ducked fights. And Lomachenko turned down a fight with Pacquiao. He officially came out on an interview stating he turned down a Manny Pacquiao fight. So he ducked the Pacquiao fight when Manny Pacquiao was willing to go down to his weight, right? He ducked the Salido rematch. So you a guy that just lost. You a guy that want to be as great as a Manny Pacquiao, but you can't even beat a grandpa version of a Manny Pacquiao. So my point is, Terence Crawford ain't ducking Manny Pacquiao. Terence Crawford told Lomachenko when he was fighting at 140, when Lomachenko just moved up to the 135-pound division, Terence Crawford told him, if y'all think Lomachenko is the pound-for-pound number one, we could link up at 137. That's only 5 pounds south of 132 where he fought in the amateurs. Most of his amateur career. So he's a big fella. He's not a small guy. He's not a fighter. I mean, he's not a fighter that goes on a scale and fight night, he weighed the same as he did on the scale. Nah, he gains 10 pounds. So if he could have fought Terence Crawford at 137, that's only 2 pounds south 135. That's only 5 pounds away from where he fought in the amateurs at most of his career. But his team and Terence Crawford, and Lomachenko said absolutely not to that smoke. They didn't want that fight. So give Terence the credit he deserved, which is, I mean, you know, he this guy that no one wants smoke with. He's this guy that stayed dominant. Do you know any fighter that gave Terence Crawford a hard time? That Terence didn't end up knocking out or destroying most of the fight?
In the ring?
Absolutely no one.
No, he's done a pretty good job. I think his competition at welterweight has hurt him because it's not anybody.
Yeah, that's really why he need to sign with PBC and leave Bob Arum. But to say to that, my top 5, man, is a tough one because Terence Crawford number 1. As long as Terence Crawford number 1, I'm all goody with anybody list. But number 2, I had Lomachenko, but after the Luke Campbell fight, I believe he has to go down to number 3. He got to do some more work. I might even put Canelo. I think Canelo will probably be a better position for number 2 than Lomachenko. Wow. The only problem with Canelo is that he had a close fight with Trout. He lost to Lara, in my opinion. He had a close fight with Golovkin, even though he won the second fight, in my opinion, and was the first draw, in my opinion. Chavez, he fought him at a catchweight. You know, so I'm kind of iffy with Canelo, but at least he proved himself more than Lomachenko have over the years. I don't got no problem with Lomachenko being number 2 or Canelo, but I believe Errol Spence. Matter of fact, I put Manny Pacquiao number 2. Cancel all that, because Manny Pacquiao just beat Keith Thurman.
Who's Keith Thurman?
Manny Pacquiao, with his resume and the fact that he beat Keith Thurman,
it's not a lifetime award.
What's that?
Like the pound for pound list. It's about who is the best.
The best
fighter.
now. That's what I'm saying.
Now.
That's what I'm saying. Manny okay, all right. So
you got Crawford 1, Manny Pacquiao 2. Okay,
Nomachenko number 3, number 4 Canelo, and number 5 Errol Spence.
Okay,
that's my top 5. Hey Manny, You my guy, but man, you need to fight Errol Spence. But next topic.